What up, y'all? It's your boy Pink, and this week we are doing the Mystery Skulls Ultra Rare Tour vlog. This took place at the Racket in New York City. I went with my sister, my boy Vic, our friend Ozzy, and we were supposed to have Ozzy's wife come along, but she couldn't come due to reasons. During the concert, there's a lot of flashing lights, so if you are sensitive to that, if you do stay, I appreciate you. This show opened with the band Nite, spelled N-I-T-E. We have Kyle and Miles. They are, as they said, good friends that look alike. They are from Dallas, Texas, and they're a synthwave pop group. And to me, their vocal style kind of reminds me of Danny or Danny Sexbang from Ninja Sex Party. And their set immediately starts with Moonlight from their album Reborn from 2017. It starts out with some synths and then gets some rock guitars, really dreamy atmosphere with some hard drums. The hook is really simple but fun to jam along to. And like I said, the vocal delivery reminds me of Danny Sexbang, and I love it. After that, we have Oblivion, My Obsession. The song first appeared on the self-titled EP/single, originally released in 2025, which also appears on the album Nite, also released in 2025. The song starts with some synth bass with some stabs, some simple poppy drums. It's fun to get lost in. There's another version with Rose Garden Funeral Party that came out in 2025. Her vocals add a nice color to the vocal production, and there's also a remix by 2D Cat that also came out in 2025. It's more synth heavy, and I love what they did with the bridge on that song. After that is Have Mercy from the All Your Pain EP from 2024. It's more guitar focused and has a fun use of live and digital drums. I like the production on the second verse a bit more compared to the first. It's simple in the beginning but gets more four on the floor as the bridge comes along, and then everything coming together on the last hook is really nice in this song. Following, we have a then new song at the time, Cries for Help, which was a single from 2025 that also appears on the Nite album. It's more synth-based and has a really big chorus. I love the mini synth solo that starts before the second verse. The drums are simple, but that doesn't take away from the song. It also has some fills that are really good to help with the variation of the song. The bridge in this song for some reason reminds me of Tears for Fears, like the song Everyone Wants to Rule the World. After that, we have their cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. Originally, the song is by Eurythmics, the duo known as Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart. It's a classic song from 1983, synth heavy, especially in the post-chorus of the second hook. The production is a bit simple, but it doesn't need more than it has, and it's no wonder that it's a classic. It's fun to sing along and dance to, and the variation of the post-chorus definitely helps the listener not get bored. Comparing it to Nite's version, it's not exactly a one-to-one, but it's very close and definitely fits their style, which makes sense as to why they covered the song, and their version of it was really good. Following that is Life and Love from the album Sleepless that came from 2020. It has a cute intro synth but builds into a fun stack of sounds, I would like to say. All of these songs have a nostalgic sound, but this one sounds like it literally came from the past, especially in the themes of love. The production, literally almost everything about this song reminds me of songs from 80s and 90s, and the bridge is very fun in this song, and it kind of brought me back to being a kid again. Mind you, I'm almost 30, but I do remember enjoying a lot of like 80s music growing up. This just reminds me of how old I am. There's a version of this song with the band The New Division that came out in 2021. It's more synth poppy sounding, especially with the busier drums. It has a different use of synths, but the drums glue everything together, and there's some vocal chops in the post-chorus in their version, and it's really cool. I would suggest listening to it. They then introduce Kyle Mendez, who does bass and vocals. After that, we have All Your Pain, a single that originally came out in 2024. It has a fun synth vibe off rip, but the verse uses a mix of guitars and synths. Simple drums on this, but the vibes are fun enough to get lost in them. The hook is nice and simple, and I think it's easy to learn by the time the second hook comes along. And it has a fun use of stab synths as like the post-chorus. The bridge also has a bit of a guitar solo, and I really like that. Next up is Our Lights Will Never Die, which was a single back in 2024. I say it has like an explosive intro, fast drums that then lead to Four on the Floor. I feel like this song would fit perfectly in a game because it has a great vibe, and it reminds me of like the feeling of a late night drive. I really enjoyed the song. After that is Good Boy from the Beat Destroyed album that came from 2023. It starts out with a synth sound that sounds like, to me, the start of a mission in a video game, but has some hard thumping four on the floor kicks, some synth stabs, as well as some darker guitars. The hook is on the intense side, I want to say in quotes, but it's still enjoyable. It has some harshish claps that add to the snares, but I think it fits with the theme of the song. And there's a sax solo on the post-chorus chorus of this song, which I found really interesting, followed by a quiet ass bridge, but then comes back for a loud chorus. And I love the hats that are on the offbeats. We are then introduced to Miles Mendes, who does guitar, synth, and vocals. Interesting that they have the same last name, as they are supposed to be best friends. But they lead into Burn, which is a single from 2025. It has a synth-based intro with some simple drums, some sick drum fills that lead into the hook, a nice use of toms into the second verse. I can hear this being in a club scene in like a show or a movie. So if y'all want to get some sync license and submit that song, I would recommend. The synths are really good in this one. I really enjoy them. The reverb in all their songs give their music like this cool 80s nostalgic feel, and this song is just fun overall. And then the reveal, they're actually twins! After the twin reveal, we lead into their final song of their set, Price for Heaven, originally a single from 2024. Has some hard drums and a bit of guitar in the intro, some nice deep synth as soon as the hook starts, and for some reason the vocal delivery in this song reminds me of Dead or Alive, the people that made the You Spin Me Like a Record song. Nothing against them, but I really enjoyed the song either way. The post-chorus after the second hook has this really dope-ass synth string solo, and this really cool use of a saxophone near the outro. I really enjoyed their set. These guys are cool. Please go give their music a listen. It's really good. And they have a lot more that you can listen to. Which brings us to the main act, Mystery Skulls, also known as Luis Alberto Dubeque Jr., or he just goes by Luis Dubeque. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's from Caracas, Venezuela, which I did not know. Going into this concert, I only knew Ghost because my sister and Victor and Ozzy are the bigger fans. I remember my sister showed me the music video and really enjoyed that. I remember there being like a bunch of characters in the music video, but even though I liked the song, I never followed up or listened to anything else from Mystery Skulls. But this concert changed my mind, and I need to go through and listen to a bunch more songs from him. But his set starts with Money from the album EP that originally came out in 2011. Has some nice steady punchy drums, some four on the floor, kicks with electric guitar, a warm synth comes in and it feels really smooth. Some distorted whirly keys or some Rhodes, not sure, but they're really cool in this song. And I love the fuzz that the synth has. Like, a lot of sound design in this music sounds really fucking good. Like, no joke, while listening to all of these songs for this recording, I kept doing the nasty producer face for many of these songs. And this serves as a nice opener for his set. And I love the synth that does a solo in the post-chorus of this song. After that, we have Higher, that comes from Ultra Rare Volume 1, originally from 2015. It has some nice hard stabs as the intro with some muted guitar riffs, which I really enjoyed. The drums are nice, they're punchy and they're crisp. The hook is really fun with the use of synth and the vocals, like what I think are the chromatic rises in this song. And there's a sick solo, which is done with this sine wave synth that's really distorted, and it sounds really cool in this song. Up next is The Future from Forever from 2014. It has this cool bright piano and vocal intro. It rises into some fun chops and synth stabs with a fun rhythm. There's a loud ass bass synth, but it's really nice. A cool little xylophone or some percussion as ear candy, which I caught on and really liked. And even though in this song he says he's worried about the future, but man, this song is fun as fuck. Got me worrying about the future like at the end of this month because I'm getting laid off soon. Consider donating. But going back to the song, the bridge still has some fun chops and you mostly hear the bass. Has some really nice production and builds into the final hook really nicely. And there's an extra little synthesizers and different chops and variation. Overall, a really good song. One of my favorites. Post-editing Pink here. I forgot to mention that I got a lot of the songs through the help of a playlist on Spotify from Perla S. Not everything was 100% matching, but it helped me figure out a lot of the songs that I had for this set list. So shout out to Perla. This leads us into Brain Sick from the EP. Has this nice gritty bass with some walking muted guitar notes. The drums are simple, but the groove is crazy in this song. It's easy to get lost in this song. Like, I had to listen to it twice because I got lost trying to write notes for this. There's this really fun ARP in the second hook, and I love the guitar that are on the offbeats in this song. Give it a listen, it's really cool. Up next is Together from Ultra Rare Volume 1. It starts with some fun stabs of a synth with some piano, builds into some simple 4 on the floor drums, and we get more synthesizers that build on the groove of the rhythmic stabs. And I love his voice on this song. It has like this filtered reverb kind of mix, which is really cool and unique. I really enjoyed that. I would say this song could be used for like a fun version of a study session. Like if you want to jam out while you're studying, you can easily have this on loop and it'll feel like a song that never ends. After that is Paralyzed from Forever. The drums are simple on this one with a fun synth bass. It has some bright hard piano chords that build with the bass. It's a very fun song to get lost while listening with some very cool production. The pads on this song are really clean. They're fire, I would say. And I thought there was going to be a beat switch in this song, but it's really just a fun use of violin and violas and maybe a couple other string instruments. They sound really pretty and triumphant, but we get that till the end and it's a really pretty outro. Following that is Glass Casket from Now or Never from 2020. It starts with a distorted synth with, of course, some 4 on the floor drums. There's some hard, bright piano stabs. Has a really fun drop and some hard synths in this song. And the song is pretty short, so it goes by really quick. I would recommend listening to it a bunch of times. After that, we have Time Machine from the album Beam Me Up from 2022. Has this really funky ass intro with some filtered vocals, and I love the stabby, bright piano that this song has. Some 4 on the floor drums, and it has a really nice groove to it. The hook has some synths that build on that groove. I especially love the guitar that goes along with the piano. It's really fun. The song is really nice too. Following that, we have Magic from the Forever album, which features Nile Rodgers and Brandy. And a fun fact about this is that Mystery Skulls mentions that he fucked up the transition into this song, which as a DJ you shouldn't mention, but I enjoyed that because it shows that the dude is humble. He can admit when he makes mistakes, even though he doesn't have to tell us. Usually people should just play it off to some extent, but I like that he mentioned that. This song has a nice ethereal intro, some guitars with some strings that are pizzicato as well as sustained and staccato, really pretty sounding, and some hard hitting 4 on the floor drums that make it a really fun vibe. And I love the funk guitar in this song too. There are some ad-libbed vocal runs on this song that are really good too. It's a really fun song and it easily became one of my favorites from the set. In the original song, Nile Rodgers did the guitars on this, while Brandy is the featured female voice, but there's also some background vocals by Melody Perry. So there's your fun fact about this song. Following this, we have the then new song Read My Mind from the recent album Maximum Joy that came out this year. It has some synthy stabs with some punchy 4 on the floor kicks, some fun extra synths that build on the groove of the song, as well as some muted guitar. Mystery Skulls has some cool falsetto vocals on this in the pre-chorus, and there's a really cool synth bass that handles a lot of the rhythm in this song. It's a short but really fun song, and I love the outro of this. The next song a lot of people are going to relate to, it's called Don't Fuck With My Money from the album Back to Life, originally from 2019. The intro kind of reminds me of the song Ghost, but it has a really fun drum groove, and Mystery Skulls really loves his gritty sounds, especially with bass focused synths. I noticed throughout most of these songs. They kind of complement the falsetto vocals, I would say. There's a fun synth solo as the post-chorus as well as some soulful ass vocals. Really nice touch for the song. It's another short but fun song. It goes by really quick. There's another solo in the song that adds for some nice variation too. Next we have Back to Life from the aforementioned album Back to Life from 2019. There's some filtered vocals in this song, but they feel layered, similar to kind of a vocoder, but not exactly. And I love the thumpy synth bass in this song. There's some simple drums and a really fun piano. I love the rhythm of this song. Added with some horns that are a really nice touch to the production. There's some bright piano stabs. I love how full the song sounds when all of the elements come together for the hook. Overall, it's a really fun song, and I love that the bridge in this song is a bunch of rides and crashes, as well as the really fun bass line. On some corny shit, this song sounds like it'll actually bring you back to life, and just like Mystery Skull says, it feels so good. I really recommend listening to this song. I really liked it. After that is Movies from Ultra Rare Volume 3 that came out in 2024. I feel like this song would play in an actual movie, like kind of like a drive-up theater kind of thing. It starts with sounds like swords clashing, but it's used as the snare of the song. It's more of a slower song, but it feels nice to bob your head to this one. It has a more simple production, a couple of synths, a stomp as the kick, and of course the sword clash snares. It goes by pretty quick too, but a cool song nonetheless. After that is Hellbent featuring Snowblood from the Forever album. It starts with some house sounding synths in the intro, kind of reminded me of Ghost and Stuff by Deadmau5. Snowblood on the song originally does vocals on the hook, but being that Mystery Skulls is doing this set by himself, he does it himself. It's very synth heavy and uses percussion to lead into the next parts of the song, which I found found really interesting. Then the percussion is also part of the drop, so I thought that was really cool for the production. It's short, but it's a really cool song. Up next is another song from Maximum Joy, Die at the End. It has like a super clubby intro. I could definitely see this used in like a club scene in like a show or a movie, and I love the piano in this song. There's a hard synth drop which made me do the stank face again. The production on this song is really fucking good. The drums are nice and punchy in the pre-chorus, and then we get some hard thumpy ones in the hook, and the synths go crazy on this song. Another song that I would recommend listening to. After that is You'll Never See Me Again, a single from 2024. It has a really cool mix of synth and strings for the intro, some 4-on-the-floor drums, but of course it's groovy. The pianos aren't as hard and bright compared to his other songs in the set, but it's a really nice element to build into the pre-chorus. The song has a nice mix of quiet moments in the verse and then builds the energy back up in the hook. The second hook, however, there's a top line that is simple yet really adds to the vibe of the song, and it keeps going until the song ends. I really liked it. After that is It's Mine from Back to Life. I love the bass groove in this song. The vocals are really cool on this too. There's some subtle strings, of course some simple 4-on-the-floor drums, the synths that build on the bass which are really cool, and a literal breakdown. Not so like a metal one, but the synths kind of go all wonky, and this kind of broken robot sounding synth goes along with a drum fill, and it's really dope, and the song goes by really fast. After that is Untouchable Champions from Maximum Joy. It has some thumpy, clubby kicks with some slight percussion, some synth stabs with bass, some additional synths building on top of it. There's a fun drop with some synths that are sidechained to the kick in this song, some subtle funk guitars and strings. There's more prominent percussion later on, and a really pretty E-piano or Rhodes in the next hook of the song. It's really fun to jam along to. Following that is Music from the album One of Us from 2017. I thought it was interesting that the main element of this song was just a kind of vocoder vocal of just music, which was really cool. The drums are simple, but they have a nice vibe. It leads into like this cool, fun synth drop with some 4-on-the-floor kicks. It's kind of hard to describe the synth. It's really digital, but you can tell that it's kind of analog at the same time. I think it's just layered with a couple of sounds. Really interesting sound design, which leads back into the second verse, which is similar to the first. There's some really cool chops in the next pre-chorus, along with some shouty vocal riffs. There's a similar synth line that's played with a different synthesizer, I believe, but it's a really nice vibe overall. Mystery Souls got me doing the stank face too much to this. Like, a lot of the production is really fucking good, and that cool synth was really nice to hear as the outro. This easily became one of my favorite songs as well. After that is Freaking Out from Ultra Rare Volume 1. There's a fun funk guitar in this, along as a synth stab and a pretty cool gritty bass synth. There's some rich pads in the pre-chorus that lead us into the hook. I love how the synth goes crazy when the hook comes, as well as some synth pads that goes under everything with some simple drums. Majority of the song in this set were fun, but this one is really fun too. And I love the vocals on this song as well, especially the synth solo that goes towards the outro. I really love synths like that. And then the final song of the set, the one that everyone knows, Ghost from the album Forever. It has a synth stabby intro with some 4-on-the-floor kicks with some sidechain synths that make it feel more full. I love the hook on this song. It's really fun to sing along to, especially the moo moo moos. The ad-libs are really fun. The bass you can feel in your soul, I wrote in my notes. The bridge simplifies the production, but you're still able to enjoy it, I would say. And of course, this being the only song that I knew before going into the concert, I have a deeper appreciation for Mystery Skulls now. A lot of the songs have really good production, even though some are more simple than others. It just shows how just some good sounding synths can go a long way. But we have an encore. Only one song, but it's a song from Beam Me Up. It has a bright synth pad in the intro, and then we get some nice thumping kicks and some sidechain synth bass, as well as some subtle guitars. This song is really nice for an actual closing song. The funk guitars are more prominent in the second verse, which add a really nice color to the song. This is another song that I feel you could have on loop and it'll feel like a song that never ends, similar to what I said about Together. There's some cool bright pianos in the next verse, and it really adds to the groove of the song. Some nice subtle use of percussion with the use of tambourines, lines, and I love the synth bass in this song. We also have a really cool guitar solo with some soulful vocals. Overall, the song is really good. I had a really fun time at this show. The opener, Nite, was great. Mystery Skulls was great as well, and I can say that I'm now a fan of Mystery Skulls. Obviously, I liked Ghost, but now having a deeper appreciation for a couple of other songs, it definitely motivates me to go listen to the rest of his discography. And after that, we talked with some people that we met at the show, hung out for a little bit, and then made our way home. And that's going to be it for this Mystery Skulls vlog. If you're a fan of Nite or Mystery Skulls, let me know your favorite song from either of them or both of them in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I have been Pink, and I will see y'all whenever.